Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Kathy.
The Centennial moment today is the Ruffner legacy from dairy farm to industrial park. This month we bring a Centennial moment that represents the merging of the past and the future and is a true testament to the Port of Vancouver's belief that sustainability and economic development go hand in hand. What was once a thriving dairy farm is now home to the Port's 108-acre Centennial Industrial Park, as well as a 154-acre wetland mitigation bank. These two very different yet complementary projects are located on property with a long and proud history. The site was a former dairy farm operated by Elmore Christian Ruffner for more than 70 years. Located at the southeast end of the Vancouver Lake lowlands, the 273-acre farm included a complex of agricultural buildings and was one of the last dairy farms remaining in the region. The farm got its start in 1849 as the Hudson's Bay Company was moving its headquarters to British Columbia. One of its employees, named Francois Laframbeau, chose to take up residence within the lowlands south of the present-day Vancouver Lake. He and his wife settled on roughly 504 acres and raised crops of Timothy hay until Laframbeau died sometime between 1885 and 1887. In 1917, local farmer Henry Huber acquired much of the property and started a dairy farm with his young family. By 1920, the Hubers and their two children and several field hands were living in Fruit Valley on the dairy farm. In 1924, Elmer Ruffner, who was Henry's younger cousin, arrived in Clark County to work on the Huber farm. He lived in the Hubers' bunkhouse and worked for 4 years on the farm without pay. Ruffner and Huber eventually agreed that the younger man could accrue an ownership interest in the dairy in lieu of back wages plus continued work on the farm in the future. Upon accumulating a half ownership, Ruffner seriously began buying out Huber's interest, and Ruffner's daughter believes that her father probably owned the farm outright by the late 1940s. Elmer Ruffner married Marie Jensen in 1934 and was the father of 4 daughters. During his lifetime, Ruffner was involved in many civic organizations. He served as vice chairman at the Clark County Fair in the 1950s, and in 1957, he negotiated with Alcoa to provide aluminum building materials at a 50% discount for the construction of permanent livestock building at the fairgrounds. Unfortunately, Ruffner was forced to quit farming in 1989 after suffering a severe stroke. He passed away 6 years later in December 1995 at the age of 92. When the Port purchased the Ruffner property in July 2004, the land was designated as parcels 6, 7, and 8. Numerous surveys were completed in the first years after the purchase to develop the land into its highest and best use for the community. The majority of the acreage of the old Ruffner farm, known as Parcel 6, has been used to create a 154-acre wetland mitigation bank in the southwest corner of the former farm and includes a body of water appropriately known as Elmer's Pond. The first of its kind in Clark County, the Wetland Mitigation Bank is a partnership between the Port and Clark County Mitigation Partners, LLC, and provides a highly effective way to preserve valuable habitat and ensure responsible development by restoring the wetlands before development occurs. The phased construction on the Wetland Mitigation Bank began late summer 2011 with grading and contouring of the ground, and plantings began this year. The enhanced wetland will provide an impressive habitat for waterfowl, songbirds, and other species when complete. The remaining 108 acres, which is parcels 7 and 8, were rezoned as light industrial property under the Vancouver Comprehensive Plan to become the home of the Port's new Centennial Industrial Park, taking a portion of the former Ruffner Dairy Farm that grazed cows and produced milk products for the region and using it to bring new companies to the region and provide good family wage jobs for our community. Designated as a development of county-wide significance by the Columbia River Economic Development Council, Phase 1 of the 108-acre Centennial Industrial Park is one of Clark County's most shovel-ready light industrial sites. Thanks to the Port's strategic planning and a $5.75 million grant from the state of Washington, the first 58 acres are being fast-tracked to meet the market demands, and development will be complete in the next 12 to 18 months. The remaining 50 acres in Phase 2 of Centennial Industrial Park will be available for future development. When faced with transitioning from dairy farm to industrial park and wetland mitigation bank, the Port decided to take an innovative approach to preparing the property. Instead of demolishing the former dairy, the Port chose to deconstruct the buildings in 2009. which involved a meticulous process of dismantling building components for reuse and recycling. These careful efforts reflected both the port's growing commitment to sustainability and respect for our community's agricultural roots. The deconstruction project consisted of giving these materials new life and minimizing the amount of reusable and recyclable materials sent to landfills. The port mandated that its contractor reuse at least 75% of all materials recovered from the Ruffner property. The contractor was able to exceed this requirement, with more than 78% of the materials reused, 19% were recycled, and only 3% of the materials were landfilled. Today, if you look carefully, you can find reclaimed parts of the Ruffner buildings incorporated into various community developments. For example, sections taken from the Kell milking stations are being used as decorative fencing in the parking lot of McAllister Village, an affordable housing project located in the Fruit Valley neighborhood. As the port's real estate manager, I am very excited about the acres of opportunity that we have in Centennial Industrial Park. In a world where most ports are constrained by a lack of available industrial land in urbanized areas, our port has highly desirable property available for development. Combine our land-rich location with our access to key resources, including a skilled workforce and a progressive business climate, it's clear that the Port of Vancouver has the assets businesses need to grow and thrive. We like to tell our tenants that the port isn't your ordinary landlord. Instead, we're dedicated to creating solutions to meet the needs of our tenants and customers. Whether it's helping to craft innovative finance options or utilizing our relationships with key resources in the logistics chain, we go the extra mile. But that attitude of service and commitment to excellence doesn't just exist with the facilities department, it's organization-wide. Today's Centennial Moment is a testament to our approach. The port embraced a historically significant piece of property with an innovative spirit that is creating significant benefit to our community. The Ruffner legacy is one of good jobs and a sustainable future to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I love these Centennial moments. You just always learn things, and they're so fun. Kelly, I think we should do another book with Centennial moments. Thank you very much. Okay.